Welcome, beautiful. Thank you for handling that, God. There's a helicopter going up above. That only happens when... Yeah, that sounds like life support to me. That's an emergency ambulance helicopter, I believe. So prayers to everybody who needs help. I do know that there was a nasty car accident yesterday. I know this because while I was making a police report about people stalking my property again, they had to jump off the phone during my last sentence or so because this call about an accident was coming through, and I actually happened to get an invitation to go out and spend some time elsewhere. So I did that spontaneously last night when the opportunity came up. And it was a really good vibe. But while I was on the way out, I did pass the accident. And if I recall, it was the same exact spot that I think his name was Luke Gross, Officer Luke Gross, was hit and run possibly at and died at. I'll look it up in a minute and check. Huh. Thank you. Excuse me, I'm just listening to the engine. I heard that. How do you hear that? Well, first of all, I have medically diagnosed supersonic hearing. I hear ultrasound machines, which is not supposed to be humanly possible. It's like dog hearing as a basic level of understanding. Right? Like dogs can hear things that you can't. Well, I can pick up a lot of the same things that animals can that you can't also. I'm medically diagnosed. Yep, I went in for a cardio appointment when I was, it was a number of years ago, but it was a cardiologist named Dr. Giladoga. Look, I'm telling you. I'm hearing that engine again. Giladoga in the, is it like the Maine Coast Hospital or something? It's the big hospital in Bangor, Maine. Like the big main one. I think it's East Coast possibly, I'm not sure. Anyway, I went in there and my mom was with me, and I was telling the doctor that it was raining. I heard raining. And the doctor did not tell me this, but when I left the room, I think I went to use the restroom or something, she spoke to my mom, and my mom informed me of this. And she said that when I left the room, the doctor looked up at my mom with a shocked face and said, "You know she's hearing ultrasound machines, right?" And my mom said, "She is." Which is a kind of a joke to her, an ongoing, not really a funny thing for me, but haha, in retrospect. We'll get that there in a minute. Your sister's got hearing like a bat. Oh, she knew. She just didn't actually medically realize it was that good until that moment when a doctor told her. Because at first she thought I was just paranoid. No, I could actually hear people talking crap from across the room, not just based on the fact that they'd sit there and giggle and point back at me and then look at their friends and start talking again, all look back over at me again and point. It's just classic mean girl thing, like a scene from a stereotypical movie. Very, very over dramatized and played out, but that was real life for me, unfortunately. This is why I don't like the people here or the ones I went to school with, because guess what? They got worse. They didn't grow up. They brought those same toxic, immature, mean boy, mean girl tactics to the work, adult, and career field, and that's gross. They're not doing very well as a result, which is why they're mad at us and tried to dismantle our lives. Because really theirs are upside down. And we know that, 444, but that's what you get when you play with devil energies and try to mess with people just because you're jealous, for starters. Anyway, back to the main point. So, Turns out I wasn't paranoid. And I absolutely heard what these people were saying. She just couldn't hear because it was so far and it was in a crowded lunchroom, so she thought that I couldn't either. No, just because you can't see or understand something doesn't mean someone else is not capable of doing so. And if you can only see from your level of perspective, it means that you cannot see from where they're coming from. They can see and understand you. You cannot properly see and understand them. And there's a difference. Now, this is a lesson point that I use in regards to narcissism a lot. It's why they project on us. It was a little bit of a different story. It just wasn't a rational thing for a human to be able to do. So she didn't even think it was possible until a doctor told her that it was. It's just not common. It's 1 in a million. 1 in a million. So she's beauty and she's grace. She's Miss United States. I hear it. I think that's from Miss Congeniality. It is. Anyway, you know your daughter's hearing the ultrasound machines, right? The doctor said. Giladoga. My mom said, she is? And she said, yeah. It's not very common, but people that do report being able to hear, these 1 in a million people that do report being able to hear these ultrasound machines, they all say that it sounds like rain. Bless you. She said, but it's not raining. The doctor said, it's not raining. We were in this giant hospital with many, many floors, but we were in the middle of the hospital. In regards to levels, there were levels below us and there were levels above us. And in the hospital, we were in a room where there were no windows because this room was in the middle of the hospital. The windows were on the outside of the walls, of course, on the building, but this room was in the middle of the building on a level basis, and then in regards to the center of the building, on a single floor level, in the middle of the floor instead of on the outskirts or having a corner office. No, this had no windows. There was no way for me to hear the outside. The outside was multiple floors up, multiple floors down, and many, 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 many offices way down on either side. It wasn't raining, but I was hearing the ultrasound machine. It was sunny when I left, which was immediately after hearing the ultrasound machine. So after that day, my mom knew. But there was one incident I remember in particular. She was picking me up. I think, honestly, it might have been that doctor's appointment from school. So I had to walk through the cafeteria. I had to walk past the gym, which is next to the cafeteria, which is where a lot of the bullies would bully and sometimes hang out. And some of them would pick on me. And so we went out, and on the way out, these mean girls were bullying me in front of my mother. But she was out of earshot, and I was not. I don't think they thought I could hear them either. They weren't making it hidden that they were talking crap. Like, it was a bunch of mean girls sitting in one little circle at one lunch table. And they'd all lean in and gossip, and then they'd all look over at me over their shoulder at once, and one of them would point and laugh at me, and then they'd all look back over to each other and giggle and snicker about what the hell they were just talk crapping about. You know what people are doing when they're doing that without having to hear their words. But I also hear the rotten words coming out of their mouth. I could hear it from the other table. I don't think they understood that. My mom certainly didn't at that point. Then there was another incident where I was up on the second story. Okay, second floor. I was up in my bedroom playing music. I had the door closed. But my grandmother and my mom and my sister were downstairs. And they were talking. This is before the diagnosis. And they were talking about me, and I heard them, and they didn't know I could hear them. So I yelled down the stairs, whatever response that I yelled, I don't even remember what it was now, in regards to their conversation, but it was timed appropriately, and it was applicable to the conversation, so they knew that I heard what they were saying. And then they weren't talking very loud, but they dropped their voices even lower. I forget if it was my mom or my grandmother, but one of them looked at my sister and said, "Your sister's got hearing like a bat." And it was in a whisper, but I still heard it. And so I yelled back down the stairs, "Yeah, I know I do, so stop talking about me." With the music on, with the door closed, in whispers from all the way downstairs. I heard it. And then the doctor diagnosed me, so my mom didn't doubt after that. 10/22. I think I was 18 then, during the the sister mom grandma stare incident. Yeah, I think I was like 18, maybe 19. Yeah, anyway. So, that one was that. Back to the main points. I heard something about giving them the old 1-2, which is a term that sometimes comes up when you're called to defend yourself against karmics. The old 1-2 punch, I think it's called. Like, I think they're talking about a right and left hook. So it's when you come up to someone, this is what I'm being shown at least right now, and you just swing at them with your right fist, and you hit them in the jaw on one side with a fist, and then as their jaw is swinging from, let's say you hit them with your right fist on their left side of their jaw, as long as they're facing you, obviously you're right but they're left, their jaw, when you hit them on their left and you're right with your right hand, is going to swing to their right. But as their jaw, their head is swinging to the right by being hit by your right hand on their left side, then your left hand comes and punches the other side of their jaw, and their head, it basically whiplashes back in the opposite direction. The old 1-2 punch, knock them out, KO'd. That's what I heard. So whether this is you defending yourself, hopefully not physically, hopefully this is not a physical requirement. Of course, my first advice is to call the police if somebody's causing problems. Violence is not the answer, but yes, always stand up for yourself. Do no harm. Take no shit. However, remember that you might be willing to stand up for yourself and think you're just going to be a rational person and you're not looking to hurt people, but these are people who will bring a gun to a knife fight, okay? Be careful. These are people who will bring a gun to a fist fight. Be careful. Or a knife to a fist fight. Be careful. That's why they're looking. They're looking to provoke a fight because they're looking to stoop dirty, to stoop low, and then probably trying to flip the script on you and claiming self-defense so that they can get away with what? Attempted murder or murder? Not gonna happen. Now, this is a metaphor, but I do feel like some of these people actually have had this plot and idea before. I hear, yes, they have. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it with locals here. I'm not buying it. It's narcissism and it's abusive. Don't buy it. I do advise that you seek to speak to a professional, though, especially if any of this sounds relevant. Professionally, psychologically, mentally, emotionally. Not that there's anything wrong with you, but this is a type of situation that sounds like it needs some extra support and guidance, possibly, in regards to how to maneuver. Definitely, if somebody's causing problems like this, talk to a lawyer. Speak to the police, talk to a lawyer first. Okay, it's always a first resort. Now, these same people who I have had to address and stand up for myself against, I went to the police first. I went to DHS, nope, nobody did their job. So my last resort was whistleblowing. I didn't start out that way. I was quiet for a whole year until I realized the court was just as crooked now as it was when I was a child, because they did the same thing to mine that they did to me when I was a kid. 30 years. They've been doing this to multiple generations of my family, and they're going to pay for every single one of them. Buckle up. So there's that. So back to the Luke Gross situation. That accident happened, I think, in the same spot the one yesterday happened. And I had just gotten done telling, right before, like a few hours before that happened, an incident where Sergeant Brundret incited some false investigations on me. And if I recall, that was the officer that was getting ready to try to go lie to a judge to double down on Robert Van Horn's perjury, which doesn't verify it. A cop lying for a dirty lawyer doesn't make it the truth, and that's very easily provable. But he couldn't come lie about me to a judge. And actually, I think that lawyer got COVID at that point because they were too busy trying to harass me, and God said, nope. So the cop had to go deal with one of his buddies on the force dying, and he couldn't come harass and lie about me to a judge. And the lawyer got sick a couple of times. And then his kid got sick because he wouldn't cut it out. Just saying. Defend yourself, yep. But especially when the cops aren't doing their jobs, when that's your first go-to, God's going to cut them down. Or anybody, not just a cop. I don't care who it is. Just because somebody has a badge and a blue outfit does not make them above the law, and it certainly does not make them above God, all right? Archangel Michael is the patron saint of police officers. You don't think if they're mistreating people, Michael's very fond of the justice system, and he's very fond of especially women and children, and is very protective over abusive situations. So you don't think that Michael's going to protect the people that their jobs are paid to protect and serve, let alone with taxpayer dollars? But that they're going to protect the cops who are not being good people, deserving of protection? You think Michael will protect cops, but not the people cops are supposed to protect? I think you're delusional. For starters. And also just malicious. I don't like the tone of your voice. I don't like your cruelty towards innocent people. Fuck off. You don't have to like the tone of my voice. I don't like who you are as a person and your character. My attitude depends on you, sweetheart. My personality is who I am. You're getting the attitude right now. But you're getting the attitude because who you are is evil. And I don't respect or associate with that. We don't deal with the devil here, and we do not make deals with demons. God doesn't negotiate with the devil. Why would I? No deal. And I'm not settling. So you can get that out of your thick skull. Merry Christmas. Hope it was worth the ego boost you thought you'd get by terrorizing. 1-2 punch. Now this may, again, be very, very, they're getting the old 1-2 punch. They're getting verbal lashing for what they've done, and they're getting physically consequenced. Even just meaning like, I'm seeing their boss reaming them out for not doing their jobs and possibly getting fired. I'm seeing something about their pay being docked. Oh, that sucks, especially around the holidays. But look, that's exactly what they tried to do to other people. And you know what I'm seeing? One of these dirty cops getting their pay docked, and the pay that was supposed to go to the cop goes into a victim fund for the person who they fucked over, which is why their pay got docked. How's that for karma? Attitude like, fuck you, pay me. Maybe you work for me now. You better be grateful because you won't have a job soon. Not when I'm done. And that's fair. After everything you did that wasn't. Or legal. Where are you being called to journey to? Away from these asshats. Birthing your creations, dreaming a new world into being. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Those people weren't it. Those people weren't it. 1822. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plans. Beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher, karmic female, I think that is. I'm scared. Not because she's scared of the divine feminine, as I mentioned. Like, we don't choose violence first. That's a last resort for us. It is a first resort for them. But they're scared because they know I'm right in what I speak and that they're in trouble as a result. And I would be too if I were them. But I intentionally did not make choices like that and chose not to hurt people like that. So I didn't put myself in that position. They did. And frankly, I warned them against their own stupidity long before they did it and all the way through the process. So, I don't feel bad. Joan of Arc said, I do not know that you are my judge. And all these people sat there and tried to judge me, misjudge me, persecute me, treated me like I was guilty before being proven innocent, but treated guilty people like they were innocent before anything. They're just taking hearsay as fact for them, but not even looking at real evidence that showed that I was innocent, exculpatory evidence and inculpatory evidence that shows their guilt. That's not smart or legal at all. And I know I'm not the only one it was done to. Here or collectively. Locally or collectively. But guess what? It stops yesterday. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. I hear it. We can't stop her now. No, you can't stop me now. You can't catch me now. No. So Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh, baby, I'm just getting started. There's so much I haven't been able to say or address for safety purposes, but also because some of these criminals have tried to silence me. Yeah, by filing false paperwork to silence the whistleblower, because they know that they'll be in trouble if they don't. But they're already in trouble. You're in trouble for trying to shoot the messenger on top of trying to silence her. You ruined your own lives trying to ruin mine, and I don't feel bad for you, because you hurt innocent children in the process. You're selfish, and you're greedy. And frankly, you're disgusting, and you're evil, and this is why people leave you and don't want to come back. This is why I left, and I'll never come back. And I don't advise anybody else to put them in the position to let you hurt them either. Absent-mindedly or not. I just heard ICU nurse. ICU nurse, ICU. Is that intensive care unit? I think that's the intensive care unit. Is that the emergency room, maybe? I don't know. It's either an emergency department or, I'm not a medical doctor. I didn't claim to know this. I tell you, go speak to a doctor, you go speak to a lawyer. I know what I know, but I'll never claim to know more, and I'll tell you when I don't. But that's how I am firm and very confident in the fact that when I do speak, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, so I suggest you listen. If you don't, that's fine, but that it will be your consequence, and you will regret it later. Not because I said so, because you'll realize you were wrong and you look dumb. Well, I wish I'd listened to her. I wish I could go back. I wish I could talk to her. Well, I don't want to deal with you anymore. You're a waste of time and space. Get out of my way. You're a liability. Move on. Moving on. I don't understand how she can just cut people. Maybe it's called the art of non-attachment. It's a level of self-mastery you don't understand because you haven't even been able to master the basics. You flunked out of spiritual kindergarten. And frankly, some of you I know for a fact, Wolfie Kaiser, flunked out of real kindergarten. Because we started out in the same kindergarten class, and then, well, I lost track of him because he didn't keep going. And I did. Which doesn't surprise me that he thought it was a good idea, as somebody who wasn't smart enough to pass kindergarten, to sit in a federal mail truck and tamper with my mail and stalk my house and try to peep through my windows like a creep. How does your wife feel about that, dude? Her name's Alyssa, right? Nasty. I know her name's Alyssa because she was stalking my TikTok a few days ago and she left her digital footprint. Just like the same people who recruited her to do it, who accidentally did that a few months before. And I sent that copy to the police because this is a person stalking my social media who keeps making false police reports about me and judicial reports, claiming that I'm stalking them by defending myself against their stalking, but they keep making new accounts to stalk my social media and accidentally left their information on my profile. Not very smart. Oh yeah, and then they made another false police report 2 or 3 days later. This sounds like psychosis to me, frankly. None of those sound like wise or rational choices. None of them. Do you have this person blocked, him or her blocked? Yes, on every account, multiple times. And this has been going on for about a decade or so, straight. These people are psychotic. And like the most vile of criminals, think Dahmer, right? They don't stop till they are stopped, do they? You know when Jeffrey Dahmer figured out and realized in his thick skull that he was wrong? In the interview that was done in, I think, 93, the first one that was ever done by a blonde woman. And she asked him, basically, when did you know that you messed up and you shouldn't have done that? And he said, effectively, give or take a few words, well, when the police kicked in my door to arrest me. And I'm like, sir, it took you that long? You're not very smart. Freaking idiot. Jeez Louise. Anyway. The divine masculine came through in this dream and he said, don't you worry your pretty little head. Don't you worry your pretty little head. Forehead kisses. And honestly, my grandmother came through last night. She's here a lot, but she kissed me in the head and she did this thing that, ooh, this will make me cry. It put me to sleep she put me to sleep this way last night. And my late husband, who died in 2016, used to do the same thing. and they'd sit next to me or lay next to me and just like rub the sides of my face, just like gently over my cheekbone and up above my temple, and like brush the hair behind my ear and just like trace my hairline. It put me right out like this. Delray did this like every night. Every night. 25, 22. But my grandmother, she was a caregiver of mine since the day I was born. My mom hemorrhaged and had to go back to the hospital, and my grandparents didn't even have a crib set up yet. I was a newborn. So my nanny was a nurse. She was actually a nurse at the hospital when I was born, and the doctor there almost killed me, and my mom. It was not a good situation. So they took my case. My purpose since the day I was born has been to get abusive, crappy people out of their positions of power. Literally since the day I was born. As an infant, I'm more powerful than grown men. This is why I threaten people, and I know that. Not because I'm going to hurt them, but because they hurt themselves trying to hurt me. 11:11 on the clock. And he thought it was funny. He thought it was funny to hurt me and my mom. He thought he was joking and laughing, and it wasn't funny. This is a man who would not let women have pain medication in labor as well, because he would say, oh, well, even though other hospitals had long since been doing so. Oh, well, if you're a woman, if you can open your legs and, get screwed, basically, you can have a baby with no drugs the way that women have been doing for thousands of years. That is what this doctor said to my mom. And mind you, my nanny was a nurse there. And he said, oh, boy, I would have slapped him. Dead and gone now, it doesn't matter, but geez Louise. That was false. Women have not historically been giving birth with no drugs or anything like that for thousands of years. Do you know where aspirin came from? Do you know where aspirin came from? Native Americans. Western medicine borrowed that from Native Americans because they learned that natives were taking willow tree bark, boiling it in a tea, drinking it, and it ended up being pain relief for thousands of years. And Western medicine borrowed that science to make aspirin. Willow bark is a root derivative. All right. Root derivative. Very silly. So all the nurses went on strike after this. They said, if you don't get rid of this crappy man, we're going on strike. We're all going on strike. You're going to lose every hospital you have with the nurse. And they did. You're going to lose every nurse you have at the hospital. And they did. It was in the newspaper. I have people still telling me that they remember this. It was such a big scene here. And they got rid of him. They gave him the opportunity to quietly resign and maybe salvage himself some embarrassment, or to be fired. And he chose to quietly resign. But he was not being nice, and he was rushing and being dangerous because he was late for a date with the woman that he was cheating on his wife with. And so he wasn't really focused on us or the patients or the work. He was focused on trying to go bang his mistress and not get caught by his wife. The reason that I know that part is because my grandmother went to chase him out to give him an earful, my nurse grandmother, and she chased him out of the parking lot only to see him get in the car with the mistress. Caught red-handed, 29-22. I'm sure she probably gave her a call too. If I know my nanny. Wouldn't have surprised me. Hey, I just wanted to let you know. Make sure you get this divorce settled properly. He's cheating on you. Take everything. Hope you signed a prenup. So 3003. To be clear, some people have a clause in prenups that if one of the partners cheats, then the partner that cheats doesn't get any money, or they don't get their share of the resources the same way. And so it would protect not only her assets as a woman, but it would allot her basically insurance. If you want to cheat on me, that's fine, but I'm going to take your money after I boot you out for it. That is a prenup. Not all of them are drawn up like that. They are customizable, of course, but yeah, sometimes people do that. Usually it's to protect a wealthy person. Like if I've got the money, if you want to cheat on me, then that's your prerogative, but you're not going to get my money if you cheat on me. But sometimes it can be used in reverse to protect the other party, because the cheating clause does go both ways. So in that case, he violated it, if there was one. And that means she would have been entitled to more, and he would not have been able to take anything from her. Yeah. Somebody, oh, you really have been, abused since the day you were born, and, taking abusive people out of their positions, power since the day I was born. Literally since my very first breath on earth. And I think I started before that. I've been working with God for a long time, let me tell you what. In fact, I know I did. So, now that that's been appropriately addressed and established. Oh, the old 1-2 punch. Don't worry your pretty little head. And then I also heard the karmics earlier say something about like we shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have targeted. There's no way to get away with it. There's no way to cover it up. Yeah, they know they've been exposed. And that they're not going to get anything that they wanted. Yeah. Just for giggles, tell me about this, because like I said, I called everything out that I picked up, but let's just check the energy. Tell me about this doctor, the baby, I told you, the baby doctor, the one that was fired. Generational curse. This is somebody who was targeting my family. Yeah, see, he was in an unhappy connection and relationship, so he was mad at other people. It's like he was unhappy with his wife, so he was cheating, and he was mad at other women because, no, go to fucking therapy, you old pig. Like, people shouldn't need protection from you if your job is being paid to protect and heal them. What's wrong with you? Yeah, look. Labor doctor, pregnancy doctor, absolutely not. Come on now. It's a dark person. And it was a coworker of my nanny's who was fake. And oh, look. That happened yesterday. Happened with, I think his name was Luke Gross, too. The department was too distracted to lie about me to the court. God might have had some intervention assistance for them if they weren't trying to intervene badly in other people's lives. But if you want to mess with other people's lives and try to take people out and hurt them or let other people, then God's not going to protect you or yours, police. Archangel Michael, again, is the patron saint of police officers. So if you're not going to protect and serve, Michael will not be protecting and serving you. Michael doesn't work for karmics. Michael works for God. Yeah, that's not working for you, is it? Trying to gaslight people. Yeah, they have no intuition. They sat there and tried to hate on me for being a reader. You're psychic. You're crazy because you say you're psychic. No, you're psychotic because you abuse people and you think it's appropriate or that you'll get away with it. I have divine support. You do not. You lie about who you are to everybody. If you sat down with a psychologist and were honest, you'd be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder on the spot. And I know this because some of the people involved were. When I sit down, I tell my doctors, I'm a psychic medium. This is what I do. Here's my YouTube channel. You can't help me. They're calling me crazy. So, hey, if I'm crazy, at least I can be aware of it and fix it. But I know I'm not. So here, let's go through this. Nope, you're not crazy. Just severely abused. Just very intuitive. They thought perhaps she was crazy, but she was only highly intuitive. She was simple like quantum physics. But they're being blocked. What did I tell you? Trying to make new accounts to stalk. Okay, let's address that one then, since they want to touch on that. I wish I hadn't done that. You're about to feel a lot worse in a minute. Oh, it's a water sign doing that. And guess what? The person that this resonates with, that's a Cancer. Cancerian, toxic Cancerian. So that's right. That's one of the people who keeps making false police reports. Yep, I already told you. It's a karmic female. I know who it is. I gave her name to the police. Copycat, though. Hating on your creative ideas, but then copies everything you do. Yep. Because they want people to look at you badly, but yeah, they're trying to cloak themselves in your light, in your essence. They copy you. They talk bad about you to get people to dislike you, but then they copy the aspects of you they think that people will like if they copy them. It's crazy. They don't like you. None of the things that you're doing are actually us. You're not copying us the way you think. You're trying to, but you cannot copy the essence of someone that you are not. It's your character statement that makes your essence, and frankly, yours is a trash bag, so can't relate. Queen. Tiger's eye. A karmic female, false police reporter, trying to get your neighbors to bother you, or this is somebody who's trying to link up with neighbors to try to get close to you. Trying to do this to an air sign, or could be trying to do this with an air sign. Yeah, they can't stand to see you shine. They better buy a visor. Yep, told you. Trying to turn people against you with gossip, I'd assume. But it's because they're energy vampires. And what did I tell you about their yucky morals and character statement? There's this garbage. Who they are garbage people inside, mentally, emotionally. Translates physically. Yep, they work with dark energies, just with the devil energy running through them. As I said, you think Michael's going to help you? No. Michael works for God. And so do I. So how are you going to fire me when God hired me? You can't. Buckle up. I don't wish bad for you, but you will get karma for trying to cause harm for me. Clear away negative thoughts. Right. No, that's not ours. That's their yucky energy. Trying to dig up dirt to use on you later. Sweetheart, I don't have any dirt. I cleaned out my closets a long time ago. But these people do. You know why they think that we have dirt? Because they are still doing the same toxic crap that they've been doing the whole time, and they think that they haven't gotten caught. So they assume narcissistically with a projection that everyone else, I mentioned this earlier, everyone else must be doing the same. They can't see where we're coming from because they're coming from a low vibrational perspective, but they do expect everyone else to see and think like they do because they can't see and understand or think like we do. We understand them. That's why we reject that. But they don't understand us, which is why they attack us. If they did, they wouldn't be doing that because they'd realize that that was the key to having any self-improvement, not attacking people to make yourself feel better or get one up in life. I think it's funny that all these people want to claim to be intuitive or spiritual, but they were so thick-skulled they couldn't even get that basic memo. That's a baseline lesson. That's like a first grade kindergarten spiritual lesson. They missed that one. Why? Because they're not qualified to pass first kindergarten. Clearly. Psychic powers, meditation, clear quartz. Yep. You're being called to clear these people out. I wish I hadn't done that to her. Yeah, we all do too, trust. Okay, now what about the Gila Joga? What did I tell you about those karmics at the table that I heard? They talk about you behind your back. They sit there and they hate on your spiritual gifts. Some of the same people who bullied me in school and did that now are open Satan worshipers and have decided to jump on the bandwagon to attack my daughter and I still have those screenshots, by the way. These are the groups that some of them sent death threats. They sent threats of gang rape and breaking and entering. They said they were going to break into my house and gang rape me. One of the people inciting this already sexually assaulted me a number of years ago anyway, so it was a threat to re-rape somebody. That's pretty gross. And then they wanted to be upset with me for being upset with them. No, I have the right to be upset. You don't have the right to be upset, and you don't have the right to do what you did. They're doing this because they don't like themselves. Trying to mess with your freedom and transportation. Anything else? Judging your family background and culture. Well, sweetheart, I'm judging you and your whole character statement, which is trash. So that's okay. Because your own family doesn't like you or want anything to do with you, since you create generational curses instead of breaking them. I can't say the same. No, I have absolutely had to cut out fake family. It's like a frenemy. Those are fake people. Those are not family. But my real people, no. Different story. But those people weren't your family. People willing to stab you in the back were never your family. Yeah. Like Stacy Crowley, for example, who stole my inheritance and Aspen's inheritance with her 2 daughters and another cousin, Morgan and Chelsea Dewicki and Jennifer Sargent. Told you. They try to copy them. They claim to be spiritual, but they don't understand the first base points because they're not really. They're just copying the things that they think are cool on the outside, but the things that they think are cool on the outside are like the final result of graduating and understanding all the lesson points. You can try to copy the outside all you want, but if you don't actually have the foundation and the knowledge, this is like somebody forging a degree, like forging paperwork that says that they're qualified in some kind of career field and that they graduated from such and such and so with cum laude or summa cum laude, and instead they just went on Google Docs or something and printed up a example paper. They just lied. They faked their degrees. So what happens if they show up at a job that they claim that they have the training to do and don't have the training, right? They can put on the outfit all they want. They can put a name tag across their shirt. They look like they fit the job on the outside, but they don't have the qualifications or the knowledge to actually do the job, though. They don't know what they're doing. They're not trained. Something I can learn on the go. No, this is not a job where you can learn on the go. This is a job where when you show up to the job and you clearly don't know what you're doing on the first day, which will happen if you didn't actually get the training, you're going to flop and also be in trouble for lying, for starters. Well, that's that. Pretty gross. These people are gross. But that's why. They're awful and miserable, and that's why they want others to feel upset. And this is why they've been trying to spin witness intimidation tactics. Yeah, that didn't work. The whole driving by my house, stalking me, harassing me, sending people towards me, that doesn't work. Spell work is no. No. It doesn't harass me to the point of intimidation to make me want to be quiet about you. It gives me more reason to put you in prison. That's all. You're just proving my point, and I don't even have to do or say anything. People see what you did now, and it contradicts everything you said you'd never do. So they know I was telling the truth the whole time, and you were lying from the jump. You're the one scared, otherwise you wouldn't be doing that or lying. I'm not scared of your stolen power. I see right through you every hour. I won't soothe your pain. I won't ease your strain. You'll be waiting in vain. And I've got nothing for you to gain. I'm taking it slow. Feeding my flame, shuffling the cards of your game. Hello. Shuffling the cards of your game. And just in time and in the right place, steadily emerging with grace. Suddenly I will play my ace. Suddenly I will play my ace. These are the same cards that keep coming out. These are people doing this over money and jealousy. This is their motive. This is their tactic. I hear modus operandi. I heard that yesterday too. And then a few hours later, Mindy Copeland, I heard say it in a reading, but I posted it on another social media I have first to educate about the law. Modus operandi is somebody's MO. It's their pattern. Criminals develop an MO in regards to how they target people. For example, some of these police officers have figured out that the MO of these karmics is to stir the pot and try to poke the bear, and then pretend to be the victim when the bear growls at them for trying to wake the bear up, disturb the bear's hibernation, poke the bear. You don't do that. You get the old 1-2 punch. You're lucky if that's a minimum. Metaphorically speaking or otherwise. Ideally not physically, of course. Violence is not the answer, but always defend yourself. Just remember that these are the people who, once again, will try to bring a gun to a knife fight, or a knife to a fist fight, or whatever variation and combination of that. Honestly, I'm seeing somebody try to beat somebody in their sleep with a bat or a baseball bat or a pipe. These are not fair playing people. These are cheaters. These are low blowing, win at all cost cheaters. These are criminals. These are what my mommy would call, I'm being silly here. I don't call my mom mommy. 4622. This is what my mommy would call scummy bummy bottom feeders. You know how I know that? Because some of the same people harassing me are the same people that a decade ago she did call scummy bummy bottom feeders. And guess what? They got scummier. She was right. They did not get better. My best bet was to let them go. And I did. They're the ones who couldn't let me go. Yeah, no, calm. They wanted to disturb your peace. Okay, karmic males. I hate that bitch. I don't really like you, so that's okay. You old rat. Maybe you should stay out of my energy field and I wouldn't be picking up the medical mediumship. I'm an RFID chip scanner. You want to come run across me? You're like a credit card. You can't be mad at me for doing what I'm literally designed to do as an RFID scanner, which is to pick up the credit card numbers. Don't come close. You got too close. Don't be mad at me. I'm just doing my job. That's how I'm designed. Hello, indigo children. Feminine. This is a karmic male. Possibly someone who wants to hurt you. Possibly someone who wanted to try to send, yeah, this is somebody very base energy. They care about money. This is possibly a sexual assailant. In fact, the particular energy I just picked up that has, like, he's probably using heroin again. These are the types of people that when you won't baby them, they try to mess with your family and your kids because they don't want you to be anybody's mommy if you won't be theirs. These are grown-ass adults, though, like 30-plus-year-old people. They shouldn't be doing that, but they did. And I can prove it. You're protected, though. Don't worry about it. Tell me about these karmic males. What a loser. This is gross energy. Yeah, that backfired. Because as they were trying to dig up dirt on other people, yeah, angry. All of their dirty little secrets came out. And they're being seen as stalkers. They got caught stalking, so that's not working anymore. Or they've been cut out of people's lives and they can't get close enough to you. Especially if you know that they try to send plants. And you don't think I know also that one of you weird locals tried to leave a comment on my YouTube? You know that I know that's you behind that account, right? I'm just letting you hang yourself. You want to sit there and try to pull some shit on me? All you're doing is showing people that even though I know it's you behind the screen, I'd still be decent. Just like I am with anybody else that leaves a comment, unless they're being an ass. Then I'll call them right the fuck out. I'll rip that band-aid right off. I'll help you tell the truth. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I don't have a problem doing that. I don't lose sleep at night over telling the truth. And whether to do, I have lost plenty of sleep over the concern and the well-being of innocent people being terrorized. There's a difference. The rebel with the greatest cause. I will never apologize for that. Yep. But they're mad because instead of making calls like that, they chose to be terrorists instead. So now instead of having blessings like I do, and my light workers have pending, they have got prison sentences hanging over their heads. Right. And that's why they're scared. They want to gaslight you. They want you to be scared because they're scared. They think if they can scare you and silence you and shut you up, maybe they can keep themselves from going to prison. And that's what they're scared of. So they're taking out their fear about going to prison on you to try to scare you out of putting them there. No. No. Witness intimidation is a crime. It just triggers the Streisand effect. It gives the whistleblower more motive to speak just because they're being silenced and suppressed. But it also does two things. It's like when these karmics try to hate on us, they actually end up sending people our way who, a lot of them learn that we were lied about, like us instead, like us better. And more specifically, they expose themselves. So they send these people our way to cover their tracks, and they end up exposing themselves more in the process. Those are the two principles of the Streisand effect that I've observed. One is, if you try to silence someone, they're going to want to speak louder. Two is that when you try to do the silencing, you blow the situation up and bring more attention to it. It right in your face. So it has the opposite effect. You're trying to cover it up, but you're actually exposing it more. Streisand effect. Look it up. It's a psychology reference. Named after Barbara Streisand's family. The famous actress and singer. She did some beautiful work, by the way. One of my favorite pieces is a song that she did with Judy Garland. Oh, hi. It's nice to see you here. Good. Hating on your psychic gifts. These keep coming up. They talk about you behind your back. Thanks for coming. Thanks for dropping a line. Appreciate you guys. Good vibes. I hope everybody's okay. I'm sending love and gratitude. Don't let these assholes win. Always trying to one-up you. Yeah, no. Not going to work. Causing you to lose your appetite. Well, yeah, I was so busy dealing with stalking and harassment and police, I didn't eat for 24 hours again. I had a salad last night and I broke a 24+ hour fast, so that's accurate. But they're going to prison. They're not allowed to mess with people or their life or their well-being or their income or their family. And then they sit there and they stalk me online. And I know I'm not the only one. I happen to be a reader in this collective, and I resonate with a lot of these channels. Not of them, yeah. Sounds like a karmic couple in some cases too. But as part of this collective, I do also, yeah, there it is. Thanks for being here, guys. Because they're jealous of you too. I've been picking up, even Aiden, I posted some stuff that you shared earlier this week. Because it's relevant, it's accurate. And I've been picking up that they're mad that I have love to give to other people, but I won't the time or attention at all, let alone that they want. And if I do, I call them out for it. They're so angry because it contradicts everything that they said, which is that we're hateful people and we're just, what was it, like antisocial? No, sweetheart. Socially selective, there's a difference. Not everybody is like you. Stop trying to project your shortcomings on others, karmics. These channels are also not for you, so you really just shouldn't be here. This isn't even your collective, and you know that. I used to do love readings. The warfare became so bad, this became the dominant thing, but 99% of the time, my go-to was love readings before all this. Yep. And I'm here because I got that dream prophecy earlier today. Protected, and that was what the masculine in this dream said. He said, thank you. It is absolutely hard sometimes with such degrees of trauma, but it's super important. Stand your ground, speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. But yes, I agree. Heart center is always where we ground into. Christ consciousness is key. And that's a non-gender specific, non-denominational thing. It's just love. Love is love, regardless of religion or language. Yep. So they're mad at your abilities too. I'm really proud of everybody. Let's see. Anything else? Does anybody have a topic they want me to pull some cards on? And not a personal topic, but like money, or if there's a particular Like, I'm not calling out certain names or anything, but if there's a situation, tell me about this karmic female who A, B, and C with the hospital situation, or, you know, the karmic male who was doing the stealing, or like whatever it is. Not personals, but kind of general personals. Omniscient, yes. Ominism. I am an ominist. People think because I often will educate evil eye from a Christ consciousness perspective that I'm Christian. I understand that, but, you know, it's just love. I don't judge people other than on their character towards others. People like that will say, only God can judge me. No, that's a quote taken out of context. God absolutely calls for righteous judgment. But the misjudgments of people like that, no, that's not their place. They're not God. Only God can judge you there. Proud of you guys. Keep going. Yeah, you're kicking ass and taking names. Yeah. Sometimes you don't give them the energy they deserve. Sometimes you give them nothing. They want your attention, but other times you give them the energy they deserve and you drag them to filth with the truth. Sometimes that's the only way to get people to leave you alone. They think if you don't stand up for yourself, you're a pushover, and sometimes that makes it worse. Your luck will soon change. Don't worry. Don't worry. Your perseverance is rewarded. Keep going. Fire. That reckless energy and magic that they sent, oh, that's backfired. Revelry and indulgence. These are people who've been running with addictions. New relationship blossoms. Keep going. Yep. Authority and diplomacy. Dude, I'm so proud. Forces beyond. Yeah. These people do not have divine support. So be meticulous and patient. That's absolutely right. There's a song I really like called God Sent Me as Karma by Emily. Accurate. They don't understand. They don't understand that catalyst is the right word. Actually, one of my favorite stones, I have it here somewhere. I'll pull it out later. It's called cataclysite, and it is a, yeah, I'll put it on my mantle to charge later, just to hold space for the collective. But cataclysite is a meteorite, and it is to bring in very fast, profound change, kind of like how a meteor smashes its way to Earth. Not necessarily to be destructive, but if towers fall, it is so that the foundation can be built from a clear space. That's all. People are afraid of towers. The tower card I find. They're afraid of the death card too. I'm a Scorpio, Pluto. I'm not afraid of the death card. Death is symbolic of transmutation of a new cycle in life, and it's also the psychic sign and realm. So come to Yellow's collective. Yes, that's right. I'm so sorry. You deal with your family. You go around the family. Oh, that's awful. I skipped family gatherings. I did not go. I know better than to go around people who've been gunning for me behind my back. I stayed home with the cats. Happy Thanksgiving to me. I was also sent food by some of these people. I did not eat that. No, why would you eat food from people who've been gunning against you? No, don't do that. It's probably poison. I do come from a royal bloodline, and that has been a very real thing through history and previous lifetimes. And some of these karmics chase me through the lives to try to finish the job. So no, they're pretty scared of the renovation. Yes, they're terrified because they have no control. We shake up their whole perspective. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you're being outcasted and isolated, but honestly, it's probably for your protection. Sometimes that rejection is actually God's protection. And if they were doing that to you anyway, I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to be there. There are people who will care about you and will not mistreat you the way that others have mistreated you. You don't have to settle. Always settle for more. I'm going to grab that deck. karmic female. I hate her. Everybody likes her and she makes friends. All because I'm not a jerk. You know, I'll call you out, but I don't dislike people. I really love people. That's why I'm here. I just don't like mean people. There's a difference. I don't like bullies, spiritually speaking or otherwise. And these are the people who are confused. Like, I've seen it. These are the types of people who, if they want to be your friend or they have a crush on you, they'll be mean to you. But it's not. It's not nice. It's not love. Also, please don't tell kids that, oh, if that little boy or girl is being mean to you, it's because they like you. No, it's not. Don't gaslight children, please. Holidays are actually low vibing. Yeah, no, I don't either, typically speaking. Although I will say that I am a Trail of Tears descendant on one side, of double Mayflower descendant on two other sides, and royal bloodline on the other. So I'm quite a mixed bag, and yeah, it's been kind of a conflicting, lots of weird karma to clear. You've got the Mayflower descendants and the Pilgrims on one side, Native Americans on the other, and then the royals, which the Mayflower people broke free from. I'm like, oh God. Anyway. Wish, discretion. Keep going. Don't give up. Look at the raccoon. These bandits tried to steal from people. Those look like pansies and rosies. I called somebody out last night. I said, you know what? I'm tired of all of you karmics going around terrorizing people, thinking your butts don't stink or smell like pansies. They don't. And you're not very nice. Wish. So, wishes. I love dandelions. My daughter and I make little fairy wishes off of these puffs. Now it does make more dandelions, but here. Dandelions are, people think of them as a weed, but actually phenomenally medicinal for so many different things. Dandelion root can be good for stomach issues as well. Look at the butterfly here. There's change coming. And also, they, like us, like this collective, they will grow from a crack in the sidewalk. I've seen one of them sprouting out of a crack in the wall, like vines growing up a wall. They are so resilient. They'll grow in places that nothing else can. And they're beautiful. They are lovely and yellow. I'll take a flower crown any day. Thank you. Keeper of Wonder. Yeah, I'll take a flower crown any day. But look at that high vibrational, look at all the space she has in that creative mind. Look, it's the rabbit, like from Alice. I'm late for a very important date, right? Oh my, that's exactly who that is. There's a teacup over here, look. What? They put an Alice reference in this card. I didn't even notice that. The teacup. That used to be my nickname in college, Alice. As in Wonderland. That's why I wore the costume for many years for Halloween. Keeper of Dreams. Dress up is fun. Let your inner little child play. Yeah, Keeper of Dreams. It's better to go alone than be in the company of the wrong people. This is also reminding me of Leonora Piper, the one white crow, who was the first known and proven psychic. She was studied by the American Association, or what is it? The ASPA? American Society of Psychological Association or something. They study paranormal stuff. It's in New York. And I believe it was Oliver James, possibly? James Oliver, who was the first psychologist to actually found psychology in the United States. He was the inventor of American psychology. But he ended up coming across Leonora Piper. And even though he was a psychologist, there was just no way that he could not, she knew things that she couldn't possibly know. He knew he was legit. So he worked with her and he studied her. And I'm feeling like this is what also other people are seeing now about the light workers. Like maybe people judged you and maybe people ridiculed you. However, now they're seeing that they were wrong. And also that other card, the Alice card. Okay, there it is. That makes sense now. Okay, hold on. Getting a download. Keeper of Hope. Look at the birds in the cage. They tried to keep you trapped in your head mentally and emotionally with the gaslighting. They wanted you to be stuck. or trapped in a situation. And the other card, they don't like this truth. Transformation, yeah. There it is. That's what I'm picking up, the snake. This snake is trying to keep you from reaching this goal. I hear lifeblood. This is an energy vampire. Expectation. Expectation. You can expect to shift, expect to elevate into this higher frequency. Okay? Keeper of hope. So on this other card where the Alice reference was, it looked like it was a circus tent. Look, lilies, the lilies, boundaries. That is one of my family crests, the lily flower. It's actually my real last name. People think it's a stage name because of my other stage names, but it's not. Discernment, laughter, embodiment. There was this card. It looked like there was a circus tent, and that's what these karmics have been doing. I'm not going to blame you for being a clown. You know, I forgive you for being a clown, but I'm not going to buy tickets to your circus. There it is. Look at the circus tent. Yeah. No, no, no. No bueno. These look like daylily, or no, what are they called? Morning glories, or I'm not exactly sure. I think morning glories are blue, but they have some kind of like little bellflower over here that's catching my attention. There are some that only bloom in the moonlight. Did you know that? There's some that bloom only in the sun and some that only bloom at night, which I think is really interesting and beautiful. Keeper of love, keeper of opportunity and time. So, Aiden is right. Keep your heart center. And this will bring steady opportunities. Can I get a couple of clarifiers for this? Yep. Your perseverance will be rewarded. This will bring steady opportunities in divine time, and it will balance out your schedule as well. Like I just mentioned that all of my time was spent trying to handle these weirdos. The clock here. Instead of having the time and energy to take care of other things, I had to address lawyers and police and et cetera, when I could have been minding my business, finishing up some tasks around here, taking care of some other things. And so they're disturbing my peace, they're disturbing my schedule and routine. That's actually a crime. All you need for a protection order is mental and emotional distress. But when people start disturbing your life because of that distress in your daily routine, that's a crime. Those are personal injuries, and it's not okay. I will be pressing charges for that on everybody who did it and all that helped them or helped them cover it up or didn't report it, because that was a violation of SHB 1236, which is a law that covers all states in the United States, and it's a violation of considering they were doing it in groups. USC, the FBI has a whole webpage on this. 241-18, title section 241-18. Really, really great reference there. It's actually sometimes known by people who know about this as quote unquote America's long forgotten anti-gang stalking law. But yeah, you know, I actually had to inform the police about this the other day. Some of them. Oh, I said, yep, it's this and this and that. Here's the citation. Here's the penal code for it. You can look that up. This is why this is unacceptable. This is why people not doing their jobs was unacceptable. You had more than enough right and reason to intervene before. This is not okay. Here are the laws now. Please do something with them appropriately. Divine Masculine says, now I know why you're so tired and triggered. They haven't literally given you the space to eat or sleep because they won't get the fuck off your doorstep. Yup. I was offered an invite by one of my doctors to a women's shelter yesterday. I live home alone with the cats. I don't need a women's shelter. I need people to get the fuck off my property, my social media, my life and leave me and my family alone. Crazy? I'd be more displaced at a women's shelter. Come on. They chased me from doctor's office to doctor's office. They bullied me out of different places. You think moving places would? No. These people are rabid dogs, and they are hunting. They are hunting victims, light workers. They need to be put behind bars or put down. Muzzles and straitjackets. That's what they deserve for Christmas. Not even coal. Coal would be too good for them. They'd be able to warm themselves with it. Those cold-hearted bitches. That's all I have to say about that. I don't feel bad for it. And you know what? This karmic had the audacity to cry like, boo-hoo, he or she called me a bitch. Well, you've been going around calling people cunt instead of their legal names, so I don't want to hear that shit. Shut your mouths. Because that's gross. I don't like that word. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's not okay. It's violently criminal. And then the people that try to silence the whistleblowers, that's also a crime. In that case, violence. Censorship is violence. I don't want bad things for these karmics. But if I have the empathy enough left after everything for them or the victims, it doesn't go to them. Like, I empathize with your mental illness, for sure. But I'm not condoning your criminality or abuse. And frankly, the narcissistic and whatever comorbid variations of disorders that they have, they're not excuses to abuse. Well, they're unstable. Yeah, but they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing is wrong. They've been taking steps to try to cover it up. And crazy people don't know to do that. They don't know that they need to do that. They're not aware enough of their environment, surroundings, what they're doing, or that it's wrong to know that they are in trouble or will be in trouble for it. Therefore, they are not in a mental and emotional space to even cognitively recognize that they need to incite a cover-up, let alone take steps to do so or help hire or recruit others to help them. But these people did all of that and then some. They know exactly what they're doing. So they're mentally ill, but their cruelty was calculated. They're not criminally insane. And frankly, they don't qualify for, I hear mens rea, but mens rea is the criminal insanity plea. No, they don't qualify for diminished responsibility or capacity either, meaning you might not be fully crazy and fully be able to get off the hook for your crimes, but, well, you know, you had some crazy that was affecting you, so we'll give you some leniency. That's diminished capacity or responsibility. But they don't qualify for that either. They knew what they were doing, and it was wrong. And they knew that they'd get caught if they didn't cover it up, so they tried. That's evil and that's criminal, and they are facing prison sentences for that. Yeah, they tried to block people from moving forward or escaping. Absolutely not. I'm so disgusted with them. Remember what I said in the beginning of this live? This divine masculine says, don't you worry your pretty little head, because he has coming through with support. 2 family members don't take their meds and are diagnosed but go around ruining lives. Well, I'm sure that they do. They ruin their own when they don't get themselves help, but as a result of not getting help, yeah, they hurt other people too. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's yucky. Your abilities will be enhanced, and choose your words carefully. Yeah. They're upset, these karmics, about me calling them out and picking it up. She called me a bitch. She's a mean. You want to talk about all of the screenshots I have of you calling me every single freaking swear name that you could ever possibly think of, even ones I hadn't heard of. Crazy people. No. You are a bitch. You are being a big bitch. The biggest bitch. At least from a karmic perspective. But unfortunately for you, well, you pulled the Grace out of me. Grace and Frankie. You should have picked Frankie, I promise. In fact, speaking of which, let me grind and pack a bowl. But, yeah, no. Never be a bitch to someone who can do a much better job at it than you can. I could have been a bigger bitch than they were. I didn't want to have to be. She called me a bitch. I'll be a bitch to you right back. You want to call me? Sure. It's Mrs. That bitch to you, though. First of all. But you're the one throwing see you next Tuesday around like it's liquid candy, so. What does that say about you? I'll call myself a bitch. My biological father would call it a sophisticated bitch because I will absolutely put you in your fucking place, but with class and intelligence. I don't swear like a sailor. I enunciate that shit like an educated lady. But we're not the same. Sure, I'll drop an F-bomb here or there for sentence enhancing purposes. But these are people going around calling people see you next Tuesday while they're behaving that way themselves. I don't like or use that word. But when they start throwing it around at me, yeah, I'll give it right back to you. Bitch. Usually I transmute it. Once in a while I get sick of their shit and give it right back. They don't like it very much, but why do you think they think it's okay to do and say to others then? Huh? I never said that, really, because I have the text messages and screenshots where you use that instead of my name for years, so shut up. Because I will post those online. And you will be embarrassed and look like a fool. And also an abuser. You dumb piece of shit. You call me a dumb piece of shit because you abuse the shit out of me and I don't fucking feel bad for you. Fuck off. You're a demon. You're a villain. You're a criminal. You remind me of Jeffrey Dahmer. Get out. 7:58. Just experimenting on people. These are people who were forcing drugs and pills and shit into people. These are people who were playing mad scientists with people's lives. God, judge, and jury at the same time. I'm not buying it. I don't expect or encourage anyone else to either. What do I do about this? Thank you. Right. I asked God, like, what do I do? How do you want me to handle this situation? Or in regards to the light workers, you speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. You literally say, yeah, no. Well, you know. Help with grounding, protection, self-confidence, inner strength. Yeah. So this is a point where you take a step back as well. The envy, your own following your path and not caring what others think. I wish I hadn't done that to her, they're saying. Yeah. Something about we can't use anything against her because it's going to point it right back at us. So they wanted to try to, I guess, trigger or upset a light worker and then say, okay, well, look, I'll just crop out the part where they're upset and say that that's who they are all the time as a person for no reason because they're crazy and imbalanced, not because I pushed them and provoked them and poked the bear. Throwing stones and hiding hands. But they've been caught now. And people see it and they know people see it. They know we see it. If we try to point fingers at him or her, we're just going to point fingers back at ourselves. Yep, it's that Streisand effect. I hear Rock in a Hard Place by Bailey Zimmerman. Yeah, they know that they're stuck now. There's no way to get out of it. The only thing that they have to do is take the L, take the accountability. People already know what they did. You can't deny it. People see you as liars. You only can acknowledge what you did, take the consequence, and move on. That's how you clear karma also, by the way. But they don't want to do that. They just want to compete. Because they're angry. And they push people to the need to defend themselves ferociously and then say that we're the problem for having the audacity to defend ourselves. No, sweetheart. You're the problem for going around hurting people. You're psychotic. You're so disgusting that people vomit when you come around. You're so awful that people have to spend so much time dealing with your nasty consequences that they don't have time to properly take care of themselves. That's a crime. You're going to prison. I don't believe these people are washing their own asses or taking care of their own lives. They don't have the time. Look at how much they've invested into ours. How are they going to have any of their businesses? They're too far up in ours. Yeah, they don't. I know. That's why. It's just a facade. Ex-friend, somebody you cut off, or a group of people. This is somebody maybe working with ex-friends, or maybe these are ex-friends because they worked with abusers against you. That happened to me. And then the same people who were siding with abusers, convicted abusers who had already gone to jail for abusing me. The same people who were going behind my back and spending time with them and all of these things, not being trustworthy or safe or a ally to me, had the audacity to come back to me and say, well, you pushed me away. Bitch, you were hanging out with the dude who raped me. Fuck off. I didn't push you away. You didn't give me a safe place to be. You pushed yourself away when you decided to pick a rapist over your so-called best friend. Go eat shit and dirt. Yeah. Divine Masculine, I'm so sorry they did that to you. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for them. Not for them. Stalkers and clockers. These cards, cards keep coming out, but they're low self-esteem, childhood ones. I'm done with these cards. They keep coming out. It's just the same energy over and over again because they don't change. They're not changing. They don't want to grow. They want to keep doing the things. They want to get away with it. That's delusional. It's not happening. It's not going to work. It was never going to work. It didn't work. They're just narcissistic, and narcissists are delusional. Not as an insult. As part of their diagnosis and disorder. That's part of this disorder. Grandiose delusions, it's called, where they think that they're great and it's everyone else that's the problem, and that they're allowed to be above the law and hurt people, but we're not allowed to be upset about it or stand up for ourselves. That's delusional. I hear that. I hate her so much. Well, hate me because I'm beautiful, bitch. I don't like you either. You ugly old wannabe cheerleader. You're not a leader. Hoorah! Yes, I am. Yeah, leader of yourself and everybody around you straight into the ground. 11:11 on the clock. Exactly. Right. So let's see. They can't stand to see you got it made. You tried to avoid the drama, but they're pushing it. So stand up for yourself. These are people calling you fake, but they are. Yep. Purposely trying to trigger you to fuck with your day, I told you, but that's not working. They've caught themselves being harassers instead. They thought that they were going to upset us and fuck with our day, but they, in the process of that, have been seen as stalkers or committing a crime. They really thought that that was going to play out well for them. That's a grandiose delusion, for example. The winds will alert you when there's spell work done against you. It's dead still right now, but last night and the night before I noticed that. And I didn't say anything about it, but I also was thinking about this card when it happened. I just happened to get a flash of it in my mind's eye. But very still right now, meaning, first of all, there's nothing being sent. I'm sure some of them have been trying to send it, but more than that, it's not being effective. It's blocked. Your energetic come up drains their demons, and that is why you defeated the devil, if that's the case. Plotting and scheming is a part of their hobby and lifestyle. This is who they are. They've been doing this. This is how they got quote unquote popular in school. These are like the mean cheerleader, jock kind of people, the people who click together and bully others and whatever. And when they get out of school, they don't stop that. They have that same fucked up mentality. A lot of their parents went to the same schools, at least around here. And frankly, this is why their parents told them and showed them that it was okay to be like that towards others. In later generations, my own included. Because their parents were doing it too. So why would their parents have a problem with their kids being just as nasty as them? Of course they wouldn't. But then they all terrorize us. They did. Some of them didn't change at all. They came back for another round. Here's another one. Kevin Edgecombe, the Freemason cult leader. He's running the Bar Harbor branch of the Freemason cult. He was actually just sued. He costed the Bar Harbor Police Department thousands in lawsuits. It was like a $150,000 lawsuit for committing similar crimes against someone else that they have to me, in fact. But his daughter, I went to school with. And before they started really terrorizing me, years ago, his daughter started coming on my live feeds and would want to talk and chat. And would come in this comment feed right here on this particular channel. And then her father and the crooked cops were terrorizing me. Right about the time she stopped coming on my feeds, too, by the way. You don't think I noticed that? Her name's Becca. Blonde girl. She's got an affinity for horses, if I recall. Like a stable girl. You stay away from me, all of you, and your daddy, too. They're mad because they want to hate you, but they can't help but sneak love you. I told you. Stay away from me. Can you imagine? The daughter of the cop coming to try to pretend to be spiritualist here with you and whatever as you're doing readings, and then only for them to terrorize you and try to have you falsely imprisoned and call you crazy for being a medium. That's a setup. It wouldn't surprise me if Kevin Edgecombe sent his daughter to do that. Trying to block your money flow. I told you. If he's running the Freemasons, that's a cult. Why wouldn't his daughter be involved with that? I don't buy it. Because we weren't ever really friends. Like, I never seemed to have issues with her, but we were just like associates. We never hung out. We never really were friends. I was nice online, and then she started coming over to my YouTube from my Facebook. But then after that, no. And I didn't even realize that that was her dad until a couple of years ago. But this started many years before that. But there are people in the system and outside of the system who know what's going on now, and they're not happy about it. Sending hate emails, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they have been. Just lies and gossip. But guess what? I've been sending evidence to counter it. So checkmate. Double checkmate, in fact. Yep, there it is. We're done, the karmic female says to the karmic male. Yes, you are, sirs and ma'ams. Nasty old karmic couple. Because that's where that just came from. I'm so sorry to anybody that's going through this. I know I'm not the only one. And you don't deserve that. Nobody does. I don't care if you have upset people or you have made poor choices in your life. It was not okay for them to commit more crimes just because they were upset with you or they felt like you had... No. And you know, normally I say you let the police handle it, but letting the police handle it does not mean allowing the police to come in and fucking break the law against people. Because they've got just the same personal bones to pick as these karmics they've been working with. These civilian criminals. Study the darkness and recognize it to be able to protect yourself. Oh, bitch, I did. Bitch! Please. Buckle up. Sorry for my light workers. That just startled. I apologize. I do apologize to you. Not the karmics. Boo, bitch. Back off. I don't feel bad for you. You want to cause the need for people to defend yourself? You don't have the right to be upset when they get very stern and sharp with you. You're monstrous. Fake support. All right, I told you. Becca coming on my feed. Tell me about that. They don't know how to communicate in a healthy way. No, so they attack you. Tell me about the Becca situation. You'll witness their karma. Well, good luck, girl. I guess you can kiss your horses goodbye, huh? They tried to start drama. No, fuck off. You and your daddy, too. Came into this world, daddy's little girl. He said, girl, it's your second amendment. Daddy played it cool. Daddy was no fool. Right before he died, he said, remember. He said, take care of your mother, watch out for your sister. Tough girl is what I had to be. his head held high, he's begging me not to cry. Oh, my daddy said shoot. Oh, my daddy said shoot. Others are noticing their bullshit lies. What did I tell you? I love this deck. They see your true potential and are threatened by it. I told you. Ignore these fools. You're too fire for them. Spiritually trying to attack you. Oh, I know. Speaking of daddies, I have not had contact with my biological father, but what I will tell you is that his wife's father is running the other branch of the Freemason cult on the other side of the island, and the district attorney, who was, if I recall, like fired or let go of, there were some sexual assault allegations that came out about that, and he lied about that when he was running and all this stuff. Matthew Foster, he's running the Freemason cult branch in Ellsworth. So it's been a big criminal conspiracy. Literal police officers, literal lawyers, not only lawyers, but the state's attorneys. If you get in trouble or you get some kind of charge or something, and it's not against a person, and it's like you versus the state of Maine, the state has a lawyer that they send to try to press charges on you or whatever, and you have to defend yourself or hire a lawyer to defend you against that. So this is somebody who tries to put people in jail for quote unquote committing crimes in the state or against the state. But they're in a cult, running a cult in Ellsworth, and not properly helping people. Of course, they didn't want to properly investigate sexual assault allegations and claims. They've been accused of allegations of sexual assault. Why would they want to help you stop rapists and abusers when that's who they are and that's who they're working with and running with, and that's their own character statement? Of course, they don't want to call others out for who they are. That means they have to call themselves out by default. No. Time to take legal action. I just split the deck right in the middle, and there it is. Hire a lawyer, especially if the cops are dirty. Because guess what? They're facing multiple millions of dollars in lawsuits from me. $150,000 is nothing. They really screwed up on that one. That was just a prerequisite. They exposed themselves. Told you. The channel just closed. Hallelujah. Thank you. I'm going to come back and do some Reiki to clear this energy up later, but I do need to go take care of myself and my babies right now, my little kitty boys. So in the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Remember to pray. I will be back within the next couple of hours, and you can catch the Reiki on the replay if necessary as well. So don't worry if you're not here. Take good care of yourselves. In the meantime, please remember to hydrate. I can't iterate enough. Remember to pray, but also remember to step out of the way so God can answer. Do no harm, take no shit, and don't lie about anyone or anything, especially when the truth about you will destroy you. Also, side note, I'm just getting a flash in my mind's eye about Aiden's comments a few minutes ago up further in this reading. I really appreciate those. Those were very well spoken, and the articulation was sound for sure. Very much appreciated, and I agree. Giving props where it's due and wishing everybody the best. Namaste.